Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining us, joining our weekly session of NICE Talks. I'm Ori Wachtel. I'm Director of Strategy and Business Operations with NICE Multi-Channel Recording. And we're just getting started. So if you just started, if you just got on, don't be alarmed. You haven't missed a thing. Today, we'll be talking about compliance and PCI DSS. That is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard with Pearl Lieberman, our Product Marketing Manager. Hi, Pearl. Great. So, Pearl, we're talking about PCI. PCI has been around for a while, but it's still much of a pain point for our customers. So why do you think this is still a burning issue?
Well, it's still a burning issue because we hear about it pretty much every day from our customers. But what I'd like to do in order to make this session a bit more interesting is start with a personal story. A few years back, I started volunteering in a food clinic. And at some point I was in charge of, a lot of administrative tasks. One of them was to look into the pharmacy and to sort through the medication and make sure that all the medication had the right dates and that it was used, they weren't expired. And so for you guys to picture it, I had to do this, and it's summer and it's really hot and there's no AC and it's looking at a lot of dates written very, very small characters. And that was painful. It was painful also because it was scary. The idea that I could be responsible for a medication going to a patient without it being valid, without it being usable, was actually very, very scary. And if you put this aside, and if you think about the contact center, you think about the IT teams, and the guy on the field whose job it is to, run through all the interactions that, may have been processing credit cards to check if any of them contains a liability, contains what is called the sensitive authentication data, so the famous 3 digits at the back of the card. That's a lot of work, and that's also very scary because if you think of all the data breaches and all the scandals that we hear of, that make the headlines in the news, it's their responsibility that is engaged. When I spoke to my customers and they tell me, I'm scared that the feds will come into my office and I'll find myself, in handcuffs, leaving my job. That is it's not only a pain point because it's a lot of work, it's also a pain point because the responsibility is engaged.
All right. So we're talking about contact center. This is not life-saving drugs, but still, how can these guys, be 100% sure that they're not leaving any stones unturned?
Well, that's the thing. They continue doing it the way they do it manually. We're talking about, for some of our customers, large contact centers, it can be 200, 400 interactions a day. It's like a team's full-time job. They can't really leave anything unturned. It's a very tedious task.
I guess that this is where automation changed the picture.
So yeah, we have automation, talking about software and how software can support these activities. Automation is the first thing that will come to mind. And we've had many discussions on this platform and on others about our solution, that is the Compliance Center, that basically brings together a whole set of capabilities to automate, to simplify the compliance tasks for in the contact center. And what I mean is that it's not only about automating, it's also about giving them visibility. They have actual dashboards to be able to follow up on the encryption of the data, on whether there is any sensitive authentication data.
And what do we have for PCI?
Okay, so PCI, we've got those 2 dashboards about encryption and about, trying to map the data in the system, being able to pinpoint which interactions might be a liability. And it's not only that, we also have investigation workflow that are appropriate, especially for PCI and for other regulations that, are out of the scope of discussion. But if they find that there is a liability, there is a problem, they need to take action straight away. They can do this with a couple of clicks. And I'm not just, making this sound good. We're really talking about a couple of clicks and dedicated workflows in order to make this as easy as possible.
And what we're also hearing from our customers that this is not only helping them internally, but also helping them vis-a-vis their regulators and their auditors, right?
Of course, in a way, the beauty with the tool is that it's also about educating the regulator. It's about preventing the problem. We have this one customer in Europe, Tier 1 bank, and basically they adopted the tool for a very specific feature. That's also the thing with the tool, is that it's full of features, and some customers will be attracted to reporting assurance, some others will be for encryption or deletion. And they specifically wanted the audio loss, because with the audio loss, they're able to pinpoint at the interaction level, and that, I mean, they have thousands of interactions a day, at the interactions level, to be able to say, okay, here we have had a declaration. This may not be useful in the court of law. This is not discoverable. And so they can go to the auditors, they can go to the standards and say, all right, we know we may have a problem and we're already on top of it.
All right, so this gives our customers, we're empowering them with the ability to show the regulators and the auditors that they're doing everything they can to ensure compliance. Great, so we focused a lot on automation and the IT team that is behind the scenes, right? What about the agents, contact center agents? What are we giving them?
All right, we've talked about IT because we talked about the software and how it helps them. And when you think about the IT and the agents, we're talking about a lot of systems. That's the day-to-day of the contact. You've got a CRM, you've got different sources of data. And instead of having to open different sources of data, you have it all in front of you. For the agents, we trigger them real-time notifications. So we're talking about PCI. They need to pause the recording. They can't record.
Why do they need to pause the recording?
They can't record the credit card information. They don't want to have it in their system. It's either it's done automatically, either it's done manually by the agent, but you know, sometimes they forget, sometimes it's a bit complex. So we trigger the notification to tell them, okay, now you need to pause, or yes, this is paused, or they have the information
real time during the call.
During the call. So they're able to do the best that they can. I think to go back to my initial story, it's about doing the best that you can, and we offer them, we hand them the keys to doing that and making sure that they remain compliant.
Right, so time notifications are very, very valuable, but customers don't only need this real time, they also need a solution for their legacy calls. What do we have for that?
Okay, so we mentioned earlier on that the two dashboards that we have with the Compliance Center, and one focuses on encryption. You need to make sure that whatever cardholder data you have in your system is protected, encrypted, using the high standards that we provide. And for the legacy calls, for all those organizations that have been recording calls for so long and that weren't need to be PCI compliant before, now need to, they can re-encrypt, they can do that retroactively. And this has been also a real trigger for our customers, because such a tedious task that involves so many calls, so many interactions, large volumes, and large storage space, they can actually take care of that with a one-time operation.
Okay, so we're almost out of time, and we have many more features to cover, but no more time for that. So, first of all, thanks a lot, Pearl. And anything else you want to add?
Sure. I think to summarize and to wrap this up, the idea of the Compliance Center is to have a solution that addresses the pain points and the needs of the main persona in the Compliance Center. In the contact center, we have the IT teams, we have the agents, and we have the compliance. We've got a wealth of information online, and I think you will have a link appearing on the comments of the Facebook Live, so feel free to check it out. And if you want to hear more about it, schedule a demo. We have a team ready to show us all the capabilities. You kind of have to see it.
Thanks, Pearl. And as Pearl said, feel free to check our resources online and schedule a demo, and we'll see you in the next session of Nice Talks.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks.